I'm here with Jennet, one of my mentors who's been in the business for 20-something years here in Santa Cruz County. And we're talking about why you actually need to have a foundation in your buying and selling process the same way you do when you're building a home.
Yeah, so I recently read that book, Atomic Habits. I see it in your desk there, by James Clear. It was it's such a good book. So one of the first ideas he shares, I don't know if you remember, it says you don't rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems.
And so with that, if the systems and you're falling to the level of your systems, what we often see is that buyers are like, I'm just going to go look at property, and if that right property comes up, then I'll go get pre-approved. And
yeah, and it's actually the most backward way to approach the buying process. Although it's the way it's been the last couple of years, I am really excited to have the opportunity to kind of slow it down with the buyers and take them step by step through the process. Get the pre-approval first. I want my buyers to walk into a house and know exactly how much that's going to cost them and, feel empowered with knowledge rather than kind of panicked and scattered and desperate.
And kind of on that same level, when we think about even the fact that buyers have been buying without inspections, they've been just jumping right into homes, and there's statistics saying that most buyers who bought in the last couple of years actually aren't happy. So if you want to sell, talk to us. We'd love to talk to you about that. But nonetheless, now they're able to do a lot more investigation. And in that investigation, kind of what else are you building?
Absolutely. You're investigating the property, investigating the neighborhood, making sure it fits your lifestyle, looking at it maybe at different times of the day to make sure you love the sunlight in the backyard. These are the little things that now we have the time to explore. And make that so much more of a satisfying purchase for a buyer.
Yeah, versus like I saw it one time for 7 minutes and I decided that I'm going to write.
Yeah, I know nothing about this home, but okay, I'm going to go for it.
Or neighborhood.
Right.
And people just kind of jumped right in. On that selling process also, people were just rushing to get their homes in the market. We obviously have a property preparation process in place, but when you're a home seller, right now in today's market, what are you seeing in terms of errors that people are making foundationally?
Well, you've got to really do the prep work. The inspections ahead of time are really important. We want to make sure we're providing a quality product. So the prep phase, the marketing phase, of course, first impressions, want to make sure that the home is looking in its best light. And so it's great to be able to, again, take the time with the sellers to get it ready to, get them the very best that the market will allow.
And what are you seeing in terms of people coming on with pricing and the conversations you're having about pricing? I mean, it's a sensitive subject. But
it is a sensitive subject. They have to be really, really smart, really conservative. Be fair, we want to see fair market value. I think that's a really key phrase because it is not such a one-sided transaction anymore. The buyers definitely have a huge say in what that value is. And there's a lot of factors out there that we don't have control of, the economy, the stock market, and they want to make sure they have a buffer just in case, anything happens down the road.
Yeah, it's interesting. As sellers, you're talking about reports, and sellers oftentimes wonder why we would do a report in advance. Why do you do a report?
Well, it's protection for both sides, really. If you have a property inspection you can provide to a buyer, they know exactly what they're getting themselves into. They can make a really more educated offer, and then it also prevents, of course, renegotiating down the road if a buyer were to discover something that was unexpected.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the renegotiation as a seller, I've had it happen countless times personally on me and in other transactions.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you go in and you think that your deal is at $1 million, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, hey, I want to notch you down it hurts. So I think
Yeah.
you're spot on there.
Yeah, and then they're in a situation, maybe the buyer says, well, then they're factoring in the sweat equity to replace that furnace or replace the hot water heater and the permit that they're going to need to get. And suddenly a $5,000 repair for the seller, which could have been taken care of ahead of time, becomes a $15,000 request from a buyer. And that's where it can take a wrong turn.
So most of the stuff, the foundation should be laid by your real estate agent in the transaction. Whether you're a buyer or a seller, you need to have a roadmap to find the success, and you need to really see ahead and know what that goal is in order to get there. And I think what you just said, from that book that randomly happened to be sitting right there that you had memorized. And
I remembered it because I believe in systems. Having a goal is great, but if you don't have the system to get you there, it's going to be a lot harder, take you a lot longer.
Love it.